Hey, everybody. This is Charles Cole. I'm about to jump right into it. I had um, an op-ed come out. Let me make sure that everybody can hear me. Yeah, so I had an op-ed come out in the San Francisco Chronicle. I think some people are not fully getting everything in it, but it's all good. Here's what the spirit of it is, right? I run an organization called Energy Converters, which is youth voices just focused on youth issues. And in doing that work, what we have seen was there are a lot of more young Black kids that are graduating from high school. But when we look and see if they're eligible to go to college, they are not. It's not aligned. There's an issue there. And part of the reason is because of the D grade. Now, when we have a dump the D campaign, we are not saying that we are going to lower the bar for students. I would never, ever say that. Instead, we need to raise the bar on the system. These are like F's for kids that are trying to go to college in California, especially in Oakland. Let me show you what some of that issue is. Let's just have this conversation right now. So in 2019 and 20, Oakland Tech had the most Black seniors in Oakland. They had 127 Black seniors. 114 graduated, but only 53% of those students had met A through G requirements, meaning that they were eligible to take advantage of the UC or CSU system. We have one of the best and biggest public university systems in the world, especially in this country, that our young people should be able to take advantage of. And many of these young people thought that they were actually on track to go to college, and they weren't, and they did not know. And part of this larger issue, when you look at the full city, there were 745 total Black seniors. Only 35% of all those seniors in Oakland, all those Black kids in Oakland, only 35% of them were even A through G eligible. So for you all that don't know, A through G refers to the approved sequence of high school courses that students must take and they have to complete with a grade of a C or better. So that's 4 years of English per se, 3 years of math, things like that, right? There's requirements. What happens is you can get a D in high school and then you will get passed forward. But when you apply to college, it will not work. It won't work. So in our op-ed, we were just talking about the work that we did. How you doing, Miss Elaine? It's good to see you. She said the boys' Latin was found on the no D policy. Anything less than 70% was a failing grade, raising the bar in the expectation. Exactly, Miss Wells, exactly. And I think a lot of people are reading my piece and saying that we need to just give kids a C if they got a D. That's not what I'm saying, and I would never say that. What I'm saying is that our system needs to treat the letter grade D with the same severity that we treat an F. So right now, if a young person gets an F in a class, they don't necessarily go forward. They have to repeat that class so they can take summer school. And there's a course of actions that are triggered. With a D, those things are not always triggered. You have to know this. And so you're saying with Charles, well, maybe people know. Maybe they know about this already, and this is just much to do about nothing. Well, that's not the case. So when we look at this, we looked and we talked to our young people. We talked to folks and we asked them, how many of them knew, about A through G? How many of them knew that it was a thing? And a large chunk of our kids did not know. We talked to nearly, 466 students is what we talked to in our report. And the full report would be made available so you can look at it. Again, we want people to read the full report. Half of those students did not know what A through G was. Even less, obviously, didn't know if they were A through G eligible. They didn't know. And this is something that has been plaguing California since I was a high school student. I had friends who graduated with a 3.0 or something like that, but was not A through G eligible because somebody wasn't checking that stuff. And so we're like, well, what are you all, saying that we should do? Well, we made a lot of recommendations. One, when we said dump the D, what dump the D was, what it is meant to do. Let's just clear it up for anybody that's come here that got sent here from reading the article. What Dump the D is meant to do is say, look, hey, we are a system. We're looking ahead. Grades come out in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. This is how many kids we have that are in danger of failing. This is how many kids we have that are in danger of getting a D, which could be a D on their semester grade or whatever the case is. We want to notify this student. We want to notify this parent. If we have to, we'll give this kid an incomplete and give them a week or whatever to get that D, to get up from a D to a C, because a lot of these folks do not know the severity of getting that grade. All right. This is not about passing the buck. And I know that we are in COVID times right now. This is about, we have been talking about rising and raising Black and brown student graduation rates, but we are not being honest with people and sharing how many of those young people are actually eligible. I'm not even talking about like ready for college. I'm talking about even eligible, able to finish the application. And I think that we have to just be more honest. So our report was a call for a system to be more honest with people and better prepare them for A through G requirements and maybe help those young people out along the way and taking it seriously. But the vast majority of the recommendations for our report are the agentic goals, where we're telling students and parents what they can do. We've taught students and parents how to read their own transcript, how to make sure they're taking the right classes, how to make sure they can go and Google UC Doorways, put their school in, and be able to double check their transcript and make sure that the classes that they're taking are indeed A through G. So I love this work that we do. I'm gonna keep doing this work. Thank you for everybody that's read the op-ed. It got edited in some ways or whatnot, which is fine. But I'm grateful to the op-ed board for running our piece. But I implore you to read our report, and you can get our report at energyconverters.org. I'm gonna put it here in these comments and put it on the screen so people can go find it. It's right on the front page. I'm very, very proud of it, and our young people are very proud of it. So you can go there right now, energyconverters.org. You will see the report, read it, digest it, listen to what these young people are saying. We talked, man, between Energy Converters and our and a partner group, Families in Action, which is an amazing advocacy group of Oakland parents and students. I talked to more than 3,000 students about A through G and understanding it. And a lot of those young people didn't know. And I remember a lot of them getting upset with their principal for asking them, why didn't we know about this? You know, so again, education has to be in our hands. We have to raise that bar. We have to hold the standard for our kids. I'm glad that our graduation rates are raising, but we also need, when this is what you can do just as a consumer. When you read about Black graduation, ask one more question and say, and out of those that graduated, how many of those young people were A through G eligible? Okay, ask that question. And then I know what this is for my crowd that will always say, well, college ain't for everybody. And that's true. The vast majority of Americans don't have bachelor's degrees. So I'm not saying that college is the end all be all. However, it is a school system's function and job to make sure kids are ready for college and career. So with that being said, I am okay with a system saying, well, college ain't for everybody, if right next to college graduation, and then you're going to have A through G completion, the next line should then be, well, what's our vocational success rate? It should say, you know, if 80% of Black kids graduated and only 40% of those kids were A through G eligible and could go off to college, for the rest of those kids, we need to see another stat that's saying, and 80% of the kids that didn't go to college was able to leave this system and start a job paying $40,000, $45,000 a year. They were able to get their life started. They were not on the track to poverty. They were not on this track around not being able to get to their dreams and get to their goals. And California has one of the best community college systems in the world. It's really good, actually, right? But we also know from looking at the statistics, it's very difficult. A lot of young people that go straight from high school into the community college system, they don't finish. And they don't have the resources in there to finish. A lot of people that I see actually take full advantage of our community college system tends to be adults, folks that have left school and probably went out and worked and maybe had some kids and then came back because this is what they wanted to do. So again, this is the research that we've done. I read the entire report. I think you will actually like the report. Again, we are very, very proud of our report. Like you should definitely go and check that out. And so we have all those numbers. I can make this a little bit bigger. We really want you to, out of 1,910 Brown seniors in 2019 and 20, only 40% of those kids left our system being A through G ready, meaning that they could go to school. Let me just look at these numbers so you can understand, okay? Skyline had 103 Black seniors in 2019-20. 85 graduated, but only 46% of those kids that graduated were A through G eligible. Dewey had the third most Black seniors in Oakland. A continuation school had the third most largest cohort of Black seniors in 2019 and 20, and 69 at 69 Black students. 24 of those kids graduated. Obviously, their focus isn't A through G in college. Their focus is to help kids get their diploma. And then Oakland High was fourth with 62 Black seniors that year. 56 graduated. That's an amazing number. That's an amazing graduation rate. But only 45% of them were eligible to finish the UC-CSU college application. You understand what I'm saying? Let's look at Castlemont. 184 Brown seniors in 2019 and 20. 184. Only 91 graduates, which is already rough. And of those graduates, only 44% of them had met A through G requirements. So again, when we talk about dumping the D, it is not to lower standards for kids. No, if a kid is doing D work, then the D the one should have. But it is treating the D grade in high school with the same severity that we would treat an F. It is making sure parents that are trying to get their kids into college, and that's what they want for their kids, is making sure that they understand what's at stake with those grades. It is you as a parent, you as a student, is you as a community member, you as an educator, making sure that your community understands what A through G requirements are. And again, college ain't the end all be all. That ain't the only way people can make money. It's a lot of folks that's doing stuff that did not go to college. And we should hold our systems accountable to say, well, this is how we're preparing those young people for the world. We are failing them. And this is not me going at OUSD or Oakland schools. I'm just from Oakland, so that's where I focus. But you can look all across California. Everything that we pulled was data from the California Department of Education. You can look there. And I will implore you to go do that. If you have a kid in high school or you're a student in high school in California, go to the California Department of Education and look at these numbers, because it will impact your life moving forward. I'm proud of our work. Thank you to everybody that supported. I know what my mission is. We're not going to stop, and we're going to keep doing this work. We're going to keep making sure these young people are able to write reports from their perspective, from their lived experience, and merge it with data and tell this community what it wants and what it needs and what it deserves, because I wasn't able to get that as a student. And so many of my friends wasn't able to get it. And you people that's listening, you probably wasn't able to have that type of autonomy and agency when you were in school either. We got to make this stuff better for these young people coming after us. So with that being said, enjoy your day. And we'll talk to you all soon. Peace.